I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by.
We're back. Welcome to Harleys and Hairspray.
You know what? This episode should be called Middle-Aged and Sexy. Nice lipstick.
Because we are.
Poop.
I'll accept the compliment. Thank you.
Yes. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. As we adjust, our technical department is adjusting the other camera. We're a two-camera show.
That's right. That's the knee cam. This is the lipstick cam.
That's right. I like to call it the bicep cam.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody zero in.
Nice bicep.
No filter, by the way. That is a natural, and that's the smaller of my two biceps. Yeah, the larger bicep is out of frame because the viewing audience isn't ready. Well, it's not ready.
It's just too big, man. It just can't fit in the frame.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello, happy fall.
Happy fall, and we're still not wearing long sleeves. We had one kind of sleeve moment just because it felt so overcast and we weren't used to the shock of the new season.
No.
But now that we're used to it, we're back and going sleeveless.
Well, but it's like linen, so it's breathable.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You know, it's
imported directly from Morocco on a first-class flight.
Absolutely.
You know what, you guys? Number one, a big thank you to our viewership. We are noticing our numbers go through the roof. We have a very low roof, but the numbers are going.
Ting, ting, ting.
We're not even going to talk about numbers, but let me tell you, we are the newest addiction. We're the latest craze. We're the hottest sensation. Some people might call it a sensation.
Ooh.
And honestly, if you want to be early to the bus ride, you better hop on our bus right now. Go get early. We're going to run right out of room on the bus.
We're on a bus? Did you put us on a bus? Are we that hot? We're on a bus?
We are so hot. What is that Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock?
Oh, yeah, Speed.
Yeah, Speed. That's welcome to our bus.
We're on that bus.
Our bus is getting going.
Am I like her? You know, she's always falling everywhere.
She's always... Look, I don't care who's who.
She's the best faller, actually. She's good at falling.
Listen, I think she was trained as a stunt woman in Germany.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah, you fall all over Wiener Schnitzel, and that prepares you for a good falling career. But no matter what, both Keanu and Sandra are incredible A-listers. And this is exactly our journey in the podcast world. We are about to become A-listers. You are watching the climb.
Speed.
Yes.
Watch us accelerate.
I need to know.
Yeah.
So you're a word girl.
Yeah.
Did I pronounce that right? You are a word girl.
You almost sound like ward girl. I'm like, ward of what? What ward am I on? Tell me.
The 10th ward. You should have a W and a cape because you're a superhero.
All right.
What do you like the most about words? This is where we analyze what we love about the details of our craft.
Oh, now I remember.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what do you...
A big conversation about words.
It's a big one? Not to scare you off.
Yes.
Big just means delicious.
Did we? Oh, yes, because we're so clever. I actually gave you the green room notes about this at the end of our last conversation. And so I'm just going to just refresh your memory. And it was all about that conversation I had in the expressive arts and how words are not my first language.
Yes. It
was that conversation. So how did words become my genius, if you will, or my superhero-ness, my W cape, as a response to words not being the first way I hear people.
Tell me more.
Okay.
Tell us more.
So I'm a very kinesthetic person.
That means tactile, touch.
I'm very body centered. So you'll say you've noticed this. You'll say something and hit my body first, right?
Yes.
If I really want to connect with somebody, it's not going to be through words, and it might be through touch, but it's more than likely movement based or but it's being around each other. And I probably could have been a dancer, in another lifetime, in whatever parallel universe, I am a dancer somewhere.
You're building your dating app profile right now. Clearly, it touches your love language, and you're all about movement and motion.
I am.
But you will not find her on any dating apps. So, ladies and gentlemen, stop scrolling. Back to you. So yes,
Okay.
we understand your language and your platform.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so, and I remember being in theater school and tapping into whatever that thing is, which we've talked about, like when the art opens up, when the gate opens, right? So my gate would open in theater school, and all these emotions would like come out of me, and I couldn't hold the emotions. It was like there was such a huge wave. And and then I can think of remember being in a movement class or a movement workshop or something, and we were body painting,
Oh.
and I remember like going, oh my God, what is this? This is my language. What is this? I feel so liberated, so big, so full here. So I was just, as you know, many of you know, I am pursuing a expressive arts therapy diploma. And in a conversation with one of the instructors, in one of the interviews, he stops me and he says, Tina, you are kinesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
You never need to apologize, and never apologize for the way that you understand things. Your seeing, your sensing is catching up with your seeing. And then your words are catching up with the sensing, and then the seeing, and then the words.
Say that again.
Right?
You must say that again.
Your seeing is catching up with your sensing. And I think it's that order. Your seeing is catching up with your sensing. And then after seeing, your words have to catch up with what you see. And then he said, you translate. When you are talking, you are actually translating the impulses that come to you. He says, I ask you a question, I see the answer hit your body, then I see you look up and see something, and then I see you put a word to that thing that you see.
I have witnessed this.
Have you?
You translate yourself into English.
Yes.
Your default position is not verbal.
It is not verbal.
It's sentient. And then you go, how do I relay and convey and communicate that?
Yes.
I've seen it. There's a delay in you. And the delay happens not because you have trouble translating, but because you want to perfect
yes.
the verbal compartments that you choose to illustrate in the clearest fashion what you're sensing.
Yeah.
That's the delay.
Yeah.
So you have to become... So my version of that, hold on to whatever you're thinking, but when I came to Canada from Europe, I had to learn English. And you get to a point where you can change your hair and your clothes and face. Oh, if you want to change it's a Bruce Springsteen song. But the language, oh boy. And so I remember watching shows, and I remember reading a big word out of the dictionary every day. And after a while, you overextend. You will learn more English than locals because you have to find a way to master the language that you overcompensate, and your language becomes, it's just huge, vast, right? I was going to say something egregiously verbose, but I won't. Anyway, but that's the idea. So I think that is why you have gained a mastery of the craft of language arts and linguistics, is because you overextend yourself to perfectly crystallize the exact definition of what you're feeling. And that's not generic. That's a highly selective process of communicating exactly what you feel that's really indescribable. And then try to put a description on it so that we all understand. So that makes the world of sense to me.
Right?
That makes the world of sense to me.
And then the other piece about it is that words are so limiting.
Oh, man. Hello, music.
Yes. Hello, music.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, music.
Of course.
Right? And so the looking for the right word is less about perfect and just more about match. It's like, what is the word that matches this?
This touches me so deeply. I cannot ever describe. You've mastered translating your feelings into words. I'm so far away from mastery in describing what I'm trying to feel musically and express musically and put a verbal compartment on it. My doctoral dissertation was on this very concept of communicating through language versus communicating through music. And so I went into a school, and I had a sample group of grade 12 students in a school that had a recording studio, and we spent some time composing music, and then we spent some time composing poetry and prose. And then we explored the differences in what they communicated, how difficult it was to interpret, and how difficult the process of or how different was the process of creation in the musical arts
Mm-hmm.
and in the linguistic landscape. And it's so fascinating. We've had this conversation before, that we are born as pre-verbal creatures.
Yes, that's right.
We are born as sentient and musical creatures, where we hear patterns of organized sound and silence. And the topic that we broached many episodes ago, when our bus was still in park, was that we hear our mother's voice, that's the melody. We hear the beating of the heart, that's the rhythm. Several voices at once are harmony, and they're structured with organized sound and silence. So that gives us some form, and we can organize it. And that's how we live. And if you listen to nature and the tides and the trees and the
water,
everything, the living creatures around us, you realize, right on cue, you realize there is a musical rhythm and order to everything that happens, and it slows down and speeds up and undulates. But we are pre-verbal creatures living in a pre-verbal or a non-verbal world. We don't need words.
Mm-hmm.
Words are just ways for us to get on the same page. Do we agree about what we're trying to talk about? Even if we have different opinions, do we agree on an understanding of the topic? But we don't really. Dogs don't need that. Squirrels don't need that. There doesn't need to be an agreement, because they're somehow okay being at one with the universe.
Mm-hmm.
We're not quite okay with that. We fight the at oneness. And we try to go deeper and look for consciousness and meaning and everything, the love and the guilt and all of it, right? And so then we need verbal constructs to frame how we get along with others societally. But it's not necessary. But that's an incredible notion to me. Okay, so can I just weave this into another question?
Wow, you have an eyeball on your arm.
This is my son Leo, and this is my son Evan.
Oh, I don't
tried
know
to get
how
a perfect
I have
match,
never
different
seen
colors.
it like that before.
I had a close-up photo, and we tried to get the perfect
Wow.
match. In fact, Leo even came to the shop with me to try, and I did it once, and it wasn't quite a match. He came so that the tattoo artist could see his eye.
Wow.
And then do a perfect color match. So these are my empty nesting
Amazing
odes to my beautiful children, who have been my greatest journey and my greatest miracle. So, and my greatest source of humility. So you know how you say that you try to translate your sensory self into your verbal self, because your sensory self really feels like home, and you try to find a fit. Okay. Do you feel the same homecoming in your relationships, like with your partner?
That's a great question.
Is there I'm home? We talked about, the wind for you being home, right? Whereas for me, it's salsa and beach and tropical. Okay, but what about in your relationships? Do you feel, I don't even need to interpret this. I'm at home here in this energy transaction with people. And who are those people, and what does that homecoming feel like?
There's so many ways to answer that, because there's so many answers to that home feeling, right? I think of some of my best friends, growing up going to college, and I have a best friend, Cindy Mason, and we were like Betty and Veronica in our 20s, right? She was like the perfect blonde, and I'm going to say I was the perfect brunette, and we were together. We were Betty and Veronica.
By the way, I always like Veronica more. Carry on.
Good call.
Absolutely.
And so aside from how awesomely gorgeous the two of us were,
of course.
Oh my gosh, I always felt like home with her. But I know what that was. It was a maternal quality that she had. So it was a different kind of home, but it was home nonetheless. Like, there was always space for me in her apartment. There was always, she just had a way of caring for me that I felt at home. Home is also someone I can be ridiculous with. Like, the person that I don't like, my girlfriend Nicole, like, I don't even know we're not that funny, but I cannot Oh my God, I cannot stop.
Self-admittedly.
We're not that funny. We have this whole series that we're doing called Death by Small Talk, where
Yes.
we literally talk about nothing, and I am on the floor laughing. And so there's a sense of home there.
That's beautiful.
There's a sense of home I have with you in the way that our words go, right? And
I
it's
feel
like
that.
it's so there's that.
I feel it.
But I think the home that you're actually speaking to is and I'm going to call it that artful home, is like this feeling, for me, I'll describe it as being seen. This person sees me. And in that, I've been in relationships before where I felt seen, but it made me cry, like so vulnerable. And I've had relationships where I'm seen and I don't cry, where it's not that it's not vulnerable, it just doesn't feel vulnerable. It feels held. And those relationships, I think, come from time in and allowing more of you to be seen. But it also comes from, for me, clearly now, as I'm beginning to get it, people who also speak my language, which is beyond words. And that happens in art.
That is beautiful. So are you, because once you feel it,
Yeah.
you can't get enough. You become insatiable.
Yeah.
Are you now on a mission to only have a home around you in your work, in your relationships,
Ooh.
and nothing else? Or do you need the levity of what doesn't feel like home to remind you of what you're striving for, just for some of that Libra balance?
Wow. I'm in a very selfish stage of my life.
Well earned, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
And so I don't know that I'm looking for home or only want to be around home, but I sure as hell don't want to be around people that cost me energy.
Yes.
Like, and even for short periods of time, fine. I live in a world. I get it. It's not the only. I'm not the only person here. I'm going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm willing to be uncomfortable, but I'm in this place where I just want to make good art now. Like I just want to do that, and so I only want to be around people where I don't feel limited there. Like I want to be with the big expressive people. I want to be with the people who listen. I want to be with the people who are going to like push back and I'll go somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, actually.
I know you do, right? So because
I'm trying to be all three of those people. I'm trying to be the big expressive people who listen and push back when they're done listening. I try to fit, yes, and then some. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know that I want to be home with everybody, but I just want to. I've told you this story already, but like, what's my life about? My life's all about expression, and not expression for noise sake. Expression for like, this instrument can do some things, and I want to do all the things that this instrument can do. I want to express those things. And so I don't want to be around people where that's limited. That's my home for the next 20 years.
Last time when we were saying goodbye to each other, which I never consider goodbye, I consider a see you later, because I don't want to say goodbye to certain people in my life. You were saying, you were just listing off all the things you still wanted to do. I'm like, all right, see ya. Yeah, and maybe we should do that. And I kind of wanted that. And then there's also this. And then we'll do a jig album. Oh, okay, that's great. But that's exactly right. You have all of the things that you still want to do. Your instrument is ready, and your life has not exhausted you yet. You're still beautiful and energetic, and you're dying to live selfishly and just see what else your instrument can do.
Yeah.
I think that's so thrilling. And you also know what's home and what's not, and how much you want to play with that rope. Fabulous. You know what? These are no death by small talk here.
No.
These are such important things for you guys to maybe check in with yourselves on. Like, what is home? What feels energetically home? How much do you communicate with yourselves non-verbally? Like, how do you define yourselves? I define myself as a guy who sees everything. Like, I see the details and the patterns and everything.
You do.
And I don't have to talk about it.
No, I see you see.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, you're a raven. I see you see. Oh my gosh. It's
a raven?
Oh yeah. Yeah, shiny thing. I don't mean shiny thing like distraction.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
like you see, I watch your eyes. It's quite something.
That's oh,
Oh yeah, I've noticed it.
that is incredible. I thought it was just me. I didn't realize it was so transparent.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay. But thank you for that. But when I think about how I function in the world, I don't really function verbally. I adore words. I adore them, but that's not my mode of operations.
Hmm.
I see the little details and and it's a curse as well because if you're my partner, I will notice the details of your effort and I will notice the details of your shortcomings.
Hmm.
And it's very difficult to live with me for those reasons because all of those all of those things matter.
Mm-hmm.
All of it, the details matter to me more than the generalities.
Mm.
The details. So how do you guys go through the world? What is your home? What kind of creature are you? And are you kinesthetic? Are you pre-verbal? Do you have to put verbal labels on things? Who are the people that are your home? What are the activities that are home? Let's engage in that conversation like this. Peace out, y'all.